What's good with you boys? Welcome back to another Kanji's Plays video, and I want to explain the combat in Fairy Tail Re before you guys really get in, because a lot of people, they just straight up don't understand the combat, and sometimes they just don't really understand how to get good at the combat, and I kind of just want to explain this a little bit and kind of go about like where the game is and, you know, just what's going on and how you actually get good at it. Now, the first thing I want to say is this game is absolutely catered to the best players on Roblox. Most of the people that stayed in this game have been on the very top of some of the highest games, like Deep, Type Soul. You've got people from pretty much anywhere. You got people from way back then on like Boku no Roblox, stuff like that. Like, there's so many people that's been on the leaderboards to the point to where pretty much anybody that stayed in the CC, whenever it was like later, or I guess early on, were all like top players, and they ended up saying this was like the best combat game out there. Now let me kind of explain on why this is. So you have a parry system, and keep in mind the system in this game is way different for combat than any other game you've played on Roblox. Now they've definitely got some similarities and stuff for sure, but the way that it's set up, the numbers and the way that you actually fight people is totally different. So the first thing I want to say is you have a parry system. Now this isn't like the other games where you're just M1ing and at any point you can press F and you can parry them. It doesn't work like that. You've got this little black circle that appears above your head, and its timing is a little bit different. So most games have a middle and an end in their animation on their M1 swings. Now you might be saying, like, what do you mean middle and end? It should be like beginning and end, or like beginning, middle, and end. Well, a lot of games don't have a beginning, middle, and end. This game actually does. Now, if you can see, everything is catered towards a human reaction speed. That way, this game is completely and 100% skill based. That means you can see people literally 1v10, like 1v10 people, 1v10ing people, and that's happened. That's absolutely happened multiple times. But it's like you got the beginning, which is where the arms are raising up. Oh, my bad, I turned my camera. The beginning where the arms are raising up. You've got the middle where the sword is actually swinging, and the end where the sword has hit you and it is past you. Now, what you're actually going to be aiming for when you parry is going to be as soon as the blade hits your body. That is what you're looking for, because that is the exact time of when to parry. Now, since the parry lingers a little bit, you don't have to be exact with it. I would say you really want to parry whenever the sword is in the middle animation, where it's swinging at you, and not at the beginning where the sword is raising up. You want to do it when the sword is swinging at you. Now, that is the perfect timing to actually parry somebody's attack. PBs are different. PBs are actually slightly delayed on purpose. That way it's more like you're reading somebody's attack, and so you have to press it beforehand and you have to hold F for it. And PBs will actually stun people for 3 seconds. Also, another thing to note with parries is that they go on cooldown for like roughly 3.5 seconds after you like actually use it. You'll see down here it turns black. Whenever it's back, it'll be white. Alright, so that's one thing to keep in mind. And whenever you land it, you actually get the parry back immediately, so you can do like parry trades and stuff. But yeah, you got PBs, which are actually going to be on the beginning animation. So whenever you see people going up, that's whenever you want to hold F. So it's a little bit different. And then daggers are so fast that you actually have to predict them M1ing itself. And so you can't react off of the dagger M1 for a PB. Parry, you totally can. PBs, you have to do it before. And then for katanas, you kind of do it as it swings up. And then for greatsword, you have to do it like right as soon as they're about to swing it down. Now, so we explained parries, and it might sound a little free. Like, you'd be like, alright, somebody's piecing you up, and they're just going to press F during the combo. And you know what? I can fight some NPCs to show you this. And you'd be like, okay, like, that's kind of a little free. That's going to be too easy. It's really not. There's multiple ways to bait people's parries out. And you could be like, okay, so what does that mean? If you bait their parry, they will completely miss because they will think that you hit it. You can see right there how I like pressed F on the NPC and he didn't attack. You can also just sit there and stall, and they'll end up missing. And that's just how it works. You can straight up just make people miss by baiting. And you can see it with that move. It's a multi-hit. I hit him, I looked away, I went back. He used his parry, he missed it. That is what we call a bait. Now this makes it where you can get people stuck in back-to-back combos, which is completely devious, and it's pretty hard to do. Because when you're fighting in this game, it's kind of like a chess match. You're trying to fight somebody, you got to be really quick-witted, and you also have to make sure that you're very you kind of create some sort of delusion. You make them think that you're going to do one thing, and you actually end up doing another. And there's multiple ways to bait. You can use moves that have more delays. You could use moves that are faster than your M1s. You could use a lot of things. You could do an M2 instead. You could jump up for an aerial, because there's also an aerial if you jump in an M1. You've got a grab too you can use. You've got M2's guard break, and they also are longer than M1s, so you can use those to bait as well. There's a lot of ways to bait in the game, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys that. Now, there's, like I said, the grab. I do want to show that real quick. You grab somebody. Once you throw them up, you double tap space. Do not spam it. It will bug you out if you spam space to where you can't like hit them after you go up. But yeah, there's the grab mechanic, and that's the parry system and the PBs. I can show the PBs real quick if you want me to. Let's see. Try and get him. It's a little bit hard to do on a dagger. Like that. It looks like that. So yeah, that's the PB system and the parry system. And then that's a little bit of an explanation on the baits. So now you can see a little bit of what you're going into. You're going to be playing the game and you're like, alright. So the goal is to make people miss their parries and to land as long as a combo as possible on the person you're fighting. And also to just be really consistent on your parries to make sure that you're not getting hit as much as the other person is getting hit. So at the end of the day, the better your defense is, the more you can pressure them on offense. And the more pressure you have, the more likely they are going to break, and you can land that big break of a combo damage. So that's kind of the goal, right? You're trying to figure out ways to bait people out, to land bigger combos, to get more damage off, and to kill them before they can kill you. Now, there's also a neutral game. Neutral game is a little bit different. So for a neutral game, you kind of want to stay out of the range of where the person's going to attack you, and you want to keep them within your range, and that's something to keep in mind. Now, you've also got dodges and stuff you can use to close in on them, or to dodge around people to kind of like I don't know, trick them out, make it to where it's harder for them to follow your movements. It makes it easier for you to land attacks because they're just having a problem with tracking you. Now you'll be like, okay, well, it's just one dodge. No, this game has 4 individual dodge cooldowns. You've got forward, right, back, and left. Now, the more cooldowns you have, the more mana take it takes, so you got to keep that in mind. But you can straight up just spam dashes. Now, you've also got flash step, as you saw me just use, to where at 20 speed, you get a flash step. Now, I have a speed build, so I'm a little bit faster than most people, but that is a thing. You press R for a flash step once you reach 20 speed. Something to keep in mind, you definitely want to get 20 speed as soon as you can. But also, at 40 speed, you get increased parry frames, so you also most likely want 40 speed, whether it's base or it's... So base speed would be like this, the first number. As you can see, I have 60. This number would be things that you get from clan, race, or accessories, and this would be different. There's individual passives for each stat, but each passive can only be reached by doing a base speed besides extended parry frames. Extended parry frames are given to everybody if they reach 40, no matter if it's through accessory or having base. But I think that's going to cover pretty much everything for today's video. You've got baits, parries, PBs, found different ways to M1. You know, the M2s for guard breaking and could also be used for baits. You've got aerials, you've got the grabs, you got flash steps, and then the dashes were explained. I think that's pretty much everything you need to know going into this game. And there's obviously, this game actually, I have yet to see that there's a cap for skill level. I've played this game for over 2,000 hours. And I was just a regular player at first, but I just put so much time into this game, got close to the dev, that, you know, we're cool now. And I'm actually high up in the community. As you can tell, I'm a community manager. If you have any big questions and nobody can answer them, please go to me and I'll try and get to them. I do have a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but just to let you know, you can DM me. And my name is Kanji in the Discord server. You'll see me floating around, making events and stuff. You'll see me in the game. But just so you know, if you ever have questions, I can try and answer them for you. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope this guide will help you guys out and understand the combat and a little bit of where you're kind of trying to head in this game as you're moving forward, trying to get better and better and become a wizard saint yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.